Cancer full moon on January 12th falls in your 8th house of sex, death, and taxes. Hey now, you're an all-star. The 8th house is really just about taboo things, psychology. So you might have a chance to either have a really good orgasm, sex, or you might find yourself in the midst of releasing some seriously deep embedded psychic, like psychological psychic programming or whatever, things that you've inherited. It's a good time to let it go. If you ever wanted to start working on shadow work, this would be a really good time during this full moon on January 12th. And by shadow work, I mean I would have to do a whole separate video on what that is, but it's like accessing the yuckier sides of ourselves. And they say that most of that shadow work is done, at least embedded into us via programming from our parents by the time we're like 3 years old. It's like the first 2 to 3 years of your life. And they, it's not like it's a mean, malicious thing about your parents, but like, they say we are a product of our parents, and it's just because that's who we rely on, So just that little deep little tidbit. But yeah, it's a good time to do some shadow work. Or like I said, on the opposite spectrum, just have like a really good orgasm. And then the Aquarius new moon, which is on January 27th, falls in your 3rd house of communication. If you've been thinking about writing stuff, now's a good time to get it out into the world. Also, rules siblings and neighbors. You need to have a chat with the neighbor. Are you interested in getting to know a neighbor a little bit better? It's a good time to reach out to siblings and bond over things. But overall, writing and communicating, this is a great new moon, and it's Aquarius, so it's unconventional thinking. It's innovative communication. Like if there's something you need to launch, it's a great time if you're into, like, if you're an inventor and you have created something and you want to get it out into the world, but you're not sure if the world is ready for it. An Aquarius new moon would be a groovy time, because those Aquarians, they're a little bit on the out of this world side in a good way. A little detached. You can be detached from some of the things that you want to put out into the world too, which is a good thing, because then you're not really focused so much on the expectation. Yeah. Now, cards. Beautiful. I'm not sure I can deny that. Oh, they fell out. Sadge wanted to fall out this month. This guy wants out. Woo! Saggies. Whoa! Remember when I was like, I'm in control of these cards, and then they just exploded in my hands? Oh. Yeah, things like that used to scare me when I was young. Now I'm like, you got a shitload of cards, my friend. We're working on being a little bit more of a boss in our life, but there's some things we have to overcome. And by boss, I just mean like managing our money, managing our environment, managing our bodies, managing, right? But at the same time, we want to still be frivolous, and we want... Whew. So this is the management I'm talking about. There's a lot happening for you, Sag, this month. So there's that. But you're feeling still a little indecisive about it all. You think you know what you want, but at the same time, it's like your own thoughts are blocking your path, which is... Well, it's goofy, but we all do it. Because you're stuck in like this little holding pattern. You're stuck in a holding pattern of your own like bullshit, your own thoughts, bullshit programming that you sort of tell yourself. I'm telling you, and this programming, you think about what I said about the new moon, this might be inherited. Inherited trauma can be very small. It doesn't have to be these huge, nasty subjects. They could be these tiny little implants in your brains. But you're ready for a new journey. You're like, okay, I'm ready for shit to shift. I'm ready for things to take chances and be like, I'm free, which, duh, you're a Sagittarius. But also at the same time, I feel like there is a relationship that's happening. The Two of Cups symbolizes very much a relationship. And this is like, since it's a minor arcana, which means one of the smaller themes, this is a major arcana. It's called Fool. It's major. This is a major theme, major secret. Arcana is secret. And then Two of Cups is like, oh, the cups, there's a bunch of them. So this is either a relatively new relationship, or this is a relationship that you found recently that feels good that you're not so sure about. Not that you're not so sure about it. It's just everything feels good, but you're not like putting all your eggs in that basket just yet. You're like, okay. But there is a relationship here. Something's going on with relationships. So Sagittarius, if you're not in a relationship, you may find yourself in one. If you're in a relationship, it would make sense if it were new. And if you're in a relationship long term, you may find yourself just connecting in a different way, like having a little bit more emotional connection with your partner, which is groovy. But then we have the Four of Swords, right? He's hanging out with this lion. I love this lion. I love lions. I'm married to a Leo. So he's hanging out. This Four of Swords, right? It's like, what is he up to? What are you up to, Four of Swords? 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. What are you up to? It's just pessimistic. That feels like your words aren't getting across. It's like you're trying to communicate, but people aren't always really hearing you this month, which is difficult. And the reason that they're probably not hearing you and understanding you like you want to be heard and understood is because your brain is a little bit jumbled. It is a little bit jumbled. You can't start this new journey and, you know, this brand new, like, I am the manager of my own life is kind of like the energy that I feel. But you can't really do that if you have conflicting views, right? And there is some indecision. You have the Two of Swords here, and you have the Two of Cups. Like those are both cards about choice and duality. It's like on the one side and on the one side. Like that's going on with you, A, emotionally and potentially in a relationship, and B, in your brain. But it's also like it's been happening for such a long time that you're really sometimes not thinking clearly. You start to believe your own bullshit. Like you program yourself to believe your own bullshit. So therefore, like, you're either it's not that you're not being cautious. Well, it might be that you're not being cautious. It is that you're not, you might have a little bit of like reckless behavior because of it, because you're so, it's like one of those things where, and please, this is just an example, like where you're so trapped in your own brain that you're not paying attention to what's going on, and you step out onto a curb and a car honks and you have to jump back on the curb and you're like, where the hell did my brain just go? Like that's kind of the energy of your brain this month. But I do think that there's this certain little partnership. And I feel like it's romantic, but it could just be an emotional connection. It's really helping you kind of get out of your head. And maybe it's even helping you like be like, oh, I'm cool to take risks. Even though lately it seems like your communication hasn't been coming across clear, but that's Mercury in retrograde. Come on. And you know, Mercury just went direct. Mercury goes direct on January 9th, so then we can communicate clearly. We can sign contracts, buy electronics, and also I forgot to mention Mars goes into Aries on January 28th, and Mars is aggression and the planet of war and drive and action, and so he's in Aries, which is like the first sign of the zodiac, and he rules Aries, so he's very happy there. But you might find yourself being like spontaneous, action-driven, impulsive, quick decisions, quick action, just like you also might explode quicker. Anger is quicker to rise. Ego is like at the forefront. So, you know, it's an interesting month for you because you're trying to be the boss. You're trying to be the boss, right? But you're blocking your own self by having this like duality of I think this, but I think this. And like I feel this, but I feel this. Like, and it's all, honestly, I think it has to do with that Aquarius new moon. It's time to put some new innovative thought into your life. After you release on the Cancer full moon in that 8th house, which is what I talked about earlier about like the whole shadow work thing. Shadow work, look it up. This is the Sacred Symbol Oracle card, Oracle deck. Meditate. Yeah, it's a good month for you to take some time out, right? And because, I mean, look at how my energy was during your reading. I feel frantic. I'm frantic anyway, but like I felt like I gotta get this out. And so I'm not surprised at all that this came up where it's like we have to take a time out. We have to be like, there's so many things coming at our heads this month that the only way you're gonna get through this is by taking some deep ass breaths. Meditate. Isn't it funny? Like meditate. I think that's how I feel when I get like car. It's like, meditate. But once I do it, then I feel so much better. You can connect to your source, and that might be really a good way for you to also get down deep. Get down deeper than that surface level of like why things are happening to you as opposed to things are happening to me. We want to know why. Meditation. It's pretty good for that. Sag, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and give me a thumbs up if you dug what you saw today. Dig it. Leave me comments down below because I love to chat with you. Let me know what resonated, if something feels off, what's going on with you. Let's make friends. Also, if you want a little bit more of a personalized look at what's going on with you throughout 2017, you should book a personal reading. So it gets so much more specific than the general overview for Sagittarius. I'll put a link down in the description below, and I will see you next month.